Hello CoH fans, my name is aramonkg and today I have yet another FPVOD for you from the beta patch for Company of Heroes of me playing this time as the Wehrmacht. So I'll go, the map is Langer of course, my opponent is playing Americans, US, and he's in the north, and I'll go over quickly over the changes that happened to the Wehrmacht. Most significant one, of course, are the changes to the back that now fires only one shot out of cloak and cannot actually hit this time around American AT guns, making pack sniping ineffective, essentially. The medic bunker has been reworked, the medic's health has been reduced to 50% of its previous value, as well as the number of bodies required to be collected by the med bunker in order to give birth kind of to a grenadier squad has been increased to 5. There's been a change in the veterancy for the pios, so veterans level 2 and 3 have been switched around, meaning pios get elite armor at level 3 veterancy. The CoH has been nerfed in some way or another, taking away its MG at veterans level 2 as well as reducing its damage significantly. There's some buff to the Stugs, mainly to their acceleration and deceleration, making them, react a bit more like a normal tank and not like an uncontrollable train. I think there's a movie out about uncontrollable trains this time around. What else? The officer build time has been reduced, and I hope I'm not missing something. Please let it be that I'm not missing something. But anyway, let's go back to the game. My opening, of course, is False Grenadiers, MG Folks most probably. This is what I had been using anyway. I have tried, 2 Folks, 2 snipers, aka the opening that Seth introduced into CoH and combined it with a med bunker, lots of mines to lure American infantry into them by using his snipers, of course, as bait. But I prefer, the more stable strats for some openings that have proven to be effective. I have not been pio-spamming even in the days that pio-spam was really kind of popular. I always tried to improve my MG micro, and this is what I have been going for most of my games. Here we have the onset of a flanking maneuver by the American player with his 2 rifleman squads, but my MG promptly repositioned in the back near my base and was being reinforced with another false grenadier squad, so the MG is going to be fine. I am probably going to be cut off from my fuel, but it will be for a short while. The American player seems to be moving towards my base, which is kind of weird, but on second thought he's probably going for the cutoff to the west of my base, which is actually probably gonna work for him, since I have my volts trying to hunt him down. There's a 3rd rifleman squad over there by my high munitions point. They both seem to be making their way towards my volts, but I have my 2nd MG on the field. It will be setting up. My pios are capping in the west happily. I don't know where the 2nd engineer squad is by him, but anyway, riflemen moving into the range of the base machine gun. My MG is gonna reposition a bit to the back, facing the north and the 2 oncoming rifleman squads. And here I think I retreat those volts because I was really kind of scared of them going down to that 2 rifleman squads. My 2nd MG is covering the strategic point there, and should the riflemen try to decap it, they will get suppressed, hopefully before they get the decap off. A retreat of pioneers in the west, and there we go with some more engineers trying to cut my wire. Oh, why do you cut my freaking wire? And here, oh, this is amazing. He got that decap, although I was trying so hard to suppress him. I was not actually doing anything. The MG was doing all the work, but still, he got the decap. A bit more, few seconds of actually lower fuel income for me. And it's a kind of win for my opponent, who had to retreat eventually. I should be getting, the second munitions by my base, the one to the east that I have been neglecting for most of the game up to now. And I'm moving once again to the west, trying to fend off riflemen that have made their appearance there. Now the strategic point is once again in my hands. My fuel is connected, my two Volks are in the east, and MG has set up, suppresses one rifle squad. Probably he's gonna suppress another one. No, he seems to be moving out of range, but the two Volk squad there are gonna be fine. We are now it's the time that I start to not to see any bars, so I'm starting my tier 2, and I'm getting a pack as soon as I can, although I will lay down some mines, of course, because they are gonna be needed eventually. Now there's a sneaky move by him and his engineers decapping my fuel. I will try to fend them off with my own pioneers, although they are both at low health. You never know how these fights are gonna go. Probably he's gonna stop capping. Yeah, he did stop capping and fought back, so I had to retreat my pioneers there and send my Volks to deal with the threat. There's an oncoming 2 rifle squad in the middle of the map. I reposition my MG to face to the west, since I already have suppressed one of the rifle squads to the north, putting my Volks in cover, and I retreat from the west of the map, since my 2-man Volks Grenadier squad and my MG had no chance there. They were going to be flanked. Reinforcing still, and not getting my pack. I think it was kind of a mistake myself, because his mate could have been on the way up to at this point in the game, and I wasn't really prepared for it. I should say that, but there's no mate to be seen, so I feel both fine and lucky at the same time. And at this point I start spamming mines. I have that munitions income that I haven't used for a long time, and I'm gonna use it now to spam, as I said, mines, because mines work wonders both against the mates, of course, or the vehicles, as well as the infantry in the flanks, and you should always be using them alongside with Wehr if you're Wehrmacht. Wehr, I don't use that much in this game. I just wire off this portion of this entrance to the high munition sector, and of course the medium fuel point to the west that I've completely wired off. At this point I think I feel pretty confident about how this game is turning out. My pack is on the field. My squad preservation has been okay up to now. I don't think I've lost anything, and I'm getting my half track in order to be able to reinforce on the field, and well, that's pretty much it. I don't have any plans at the moment of upgrading with anything, flamers mostly, because rockets gonna be really an investment that I don't think it pays off that quickly in 1v1s, although I remember times where half-tracks with rockets were used to counter AT guns, and maybe it's the time for them to make a reappearance, since now you don't have any more packs to snipe your opponent's AT guns. So I guess you're gonna have to revert back to the old ways of taking out AT guns with snipers, with mortars, with just sheer tank firepower, or even with some storms and bundle nades and and Shreks to take out the 80 gun itself. You have to be creative. That's all I'm saying. You just can't creep up with an invisible 80 gun of your own and shoot down your opponent's 80 gun in 3 shots and being totally fine with it. And your gun being totally fine. That's what I'm saying. Another attempt for a flank by my opponent, who has get bars, by the way, and is actually very late bars, and I don't know what else of an fuel investment he has used, because it's kind of weird. However, bars are still strong, and at this moment I have to abandon my position near my strategic victory point, but see, you see here all those mines going off, and it's actually my investment paying off, because look at his health on those squads. Really, you see them on the tactical map as they retreat there. They have been brought down to almost no health by those mines. There must have been at least 3 mines that exploded there. So, mine play and mine plane and mine placement is really important. Wehrmacht is really more important than Americans, in my opinion, because you already, you have to be on your toes for flanks and having to set up your MGs, and sometimes it's not enough, especially if there are bars and flamers in the mix. It's not so easy to stop it without mines. Once again, 2 rifleman squads making their appearance by the medium munition point that I was trying to cap. I think I have all my Volks there. I even put some of my Volks in the half track, the usual trick of choosing to reinforce, get them in the half track, pop them out of the half track, have their member ready, blah 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 blah. And you also get the firepower of the half track. I'm a bit defensive at this moment. I make a move with my MG even, and I bring my second MG into the central portion of the map, but I change my mind and I once again reposition my second MG by the high munition point, because I really want to have that munition point in my hands, and because it does allow me to spam those mines. He has placed a rifleman squad in the building. He is taking back victory points and strategic sectors. Not much that I can do here, although I did opt to get a flamer on that half truck. Most probably at that time I was thinking of a way to dislodge those riflemen from the building. And here we have the commander indication by the American player, and that is an infantry commander. He is trying to shut down my position of MG and Volks. I retreat most of them in the first attempt, and I bring the second. I retreat actually the last squad of Volks a bit later, and this time after I saw the bars, of course, and since I have the fuel and the manpower, that of course most of my mines saved me by stopping his flanks, I am able to fill the Puma. A Puma against bars is really powerful. I lost the Pioneer up in the north. That Pioneer was a bit too confident, trying to decap the whole freaking west portion of the map. And now I'm not gonna opt for Puma spamming. I know it could be good against these bars, but what he's probably gonna do after he sees these vehicles on the field, even the half track with a flamer, he's probably gonna get an AT gun if he hasn't already. So I don't think Puma spamming at this time will be actually effective. Once again, he hits a mine by that choke point in between the hedges. I'm gonna try hunt him down a bit, but his riflemen are gonna be fine. Riflemen's, that's the new way to say it. What else? Oh yeah, I still have my 2 MGs. I haven't lost any Volks. I'm not getting veterancy yet, which may be... I always was a player that favored teching up instead of getting veterancy, and I always thought that the better access and the more access you had to higher tech as Wehrmacht, meaning tanks, of course, and meaning tanks, it would eventually pay off instead of veterancy. Of course, if you are really pressed in a game, you just have to change. But the pressure wasn't that great in this game. You know, the bars were late. Enemy didn't make an appearance. I felt pretty easy not getting some veterancy. Of course, had bars being earlier, I could still have led those mines, but probably I would have skipped. Depending on the losses I took, I probably would have skipped the tier 3 in favor of tier 2, of an extended tier 2 with grants and veterancy, because there are not many ways you can get yourself out of a bar flamer flanking. It's just mines, good MG positioning, tactical retreats with your Volks, and always trying to fight from cover, being aware of where your opponent is stronger, and from what flank you are gonna take the heaviest losses. Once again, an artillery strike in the middle does not manage to kill many of my forces, although that MG was really close there, so I just opted to retreat it anyway. And I am hopefully and eventually I'm at tier 4, and I'm really happy about that, because that would mean that I'll be able to field the Ostwind or the Panzer IV, depending on what my opponent does. My opponent, as I said, he hasn't shown signs of some vehicles up to now. He just did those bars and his flamers, and the infantry commander that he chose to use was kind of a surprise to me, because I thought at the time, and probably I think I just blew into my microphone anyway, I thought at the time that what was I saying? Oh yeah, I thought at the time that actually a strafe would have been more successful in taking out my position and not just making me retreat. So I just have that in the back of my mind as I continue to play. At this moment, there's the first AT gun on the field, and I have to get the hell out of there with my Puma, and probably with my half-track as well. My MG is covering and shooting at his position in the building, which is kind of a waste, and now I'm using my half-track to try to flank him and make him get the hell out of the building. But the AT gun has another opinion about it, and I think my half-track has already taken one shot from the AT gun, and it's probably gonna go down to small arms fired by those riflemen. Although I do bring... okay, the half-track went down. Although I do have my Puma there, that's not gonna do much against the AT gun, so I just retreat. I actually back off with my Puma. A push by some flamers and by riflemen in the middle made me retreat with my two Volks. The poor folks are always on low health when they retreat, aren't they? MG in the west, I think I should have been a bit more active with that MG. However, I don't feel, bad about it, because it does cover a significant portion of my resources there, both my high munition point and my medium fuel point. That gives me that advantage of being able to have like 150 fuel and spam tanks eventually. Slight repositioning of my MG against those riflemen. Is it gonna pay off? There's a second rifleman squad coming in, and I decide not to stay any longer there with my MG. I retreat. Victory points this time tick down against me, although I do have a lead of around 130 victory points, so that's okay. I'm gonna use my Panzer IV, although, you know, I know the positioning of the AT gun behind the American player, although I did see an M3 half-track there, so that kind of caught me off guard. I mean, what the hell is he planning to do with that? He just, most probably he's just using it to reinforce on the field, but still, he could put some flaming ranges, I don't know, maybe he's going for a base rush, old style base rush, and I'm really not in the position to defend a base rush at this moment. Well, I could, of course, send my P4 there, etc, etc, or retreat all my infantry, but you know how base rushes is. If they're sneaky, although I do have a good coverage of the map, I do have sight on most of the map, so I don't think he would be able to do that. But still, you know, it's a sound. It's a weird. It's not used that much, the M3 half-track, but he does give him the ability to reinforce on the field. And that means a bit more pressure for me in case he wants to flank. And my first thought when I saw the IT gun was to get a mortar. A mortar behind those hedges will be, I think, sufficient in order to cause some damage on the AT gun, so that my tank can move in given the opportunity. At this point he has not shown exactly what he wants to do. He seems to be holding his ground, and I do the same. More decapping going on in the mid, riflemen fighting off Volks, and my mortar is opening fire on them. Brings them to really low health, and I'm trying to take a look with my Panzer IV at what his forces are, and whether or not he has a second AT gun. Although I did lose that Volk Grenadier squad there, I was too late retreating that squad. Didn't exactly pay off. Now I'm sending my Puma to the west, where there's an attempted flank on my MG42, although I think my two Volks were okay with that. And this is what I'm trying eventually. I'm trying to kill off the AT gun with flamers. I really, yeah, probably I shouldn't have done that, because actually it didn't pay off. However, my rifleman, what? I don't have riflemen. I meant my sniper is on the field, and this is gonna be an added, force in my arsenal of trying to combat the AT guns. And by the way, he lost a rifleman squad there, which was kind of unfortunate for him. And boom! I went into a mine with both my Volks Grenadier, and I took, I don't know, like 5 men down there. I backed off my mortar in that occasion because I thought he was going to grenade me with with his riflemen, and at this time I'm considering more ways in order to take out the AT guns. I could field some nibbles. I do have the tier 3 up, but I'm really starving for manpower. And 325 manpower, I don't really want to invest that much in order to get a nibble, and having already a sniper and a mortar on the field. Panzer IV still hasn't taken any damage. I'm gonna try to scout a bit with a sniper, see where that AT gun is. I'll probably take it out, and once I take it out, I will move in with my tanks. My tanks that now are 2, and they are both Panzer IVs. They are sturdier than an Ostwind. They can deal pretty good infantry damage, and bam! Artillery strike on my Pioneers. I didn't see that coming, most probably because it's a non-map howitzer and not an off-map howitzer. And that seems to be the case, although I don't pan over this area to see where there are shells or not. But anyway, long story short, my Pioneers are dead. However, my mortar took a very good hit on that AT gun, and the shot from my sniper manages to decrease the AT gun, and now it's the time for me to move in with my tanks. One of my tanks has taken an AT gun shot, but what I'm trying to do now is kill, of course, the half-track. Every unit you kill is actually good for you. However, I meet the second AT gun, and at this time I think I start barraging the location with my mortar. I hold off my AT guns and I just use them to take down the gun, the AT gun of him. And at this time he says GG. Probably because of his AT gun position being taken down, and eventually my mortar and sniper paying off for themselves and destroying those AT guns and giving free reign, full reign to my tanks on the field. Once more, artillery coming down on the tanks. See, this time it is clear that it is an on-map howitzer, and it doesn't hit the tanks. An off-map howitzer on my Volks, trying to dig up the strategic point. Some Volks in the east trying to fight off a rifleman. And at this time, I think I let go of my guard in this game. I invest all 9 CPs on getting out a King Tiger. I fill the King Tiger. I take the manpower, the decreased manpower income for calling in my Tiger, and from this point onwards, I think we mostly talk about the game, and I'm really not paying that much of attention to what I'm doing. Although I don't know why I'm backing off with my Panzer force. I'm gonna continue, reinforcing. I have my sniper there. I think he's on hold fire, trying to scout the front. I just revealed to my opponent that I have been recording the game, which I think I'll be doing for the beta, well, most of the times, if I feel like it, and if I feel that I can actually play good. I'm saying that his infantry was kind of off. I don't really consider it to be the best for him at the time he got it. As I said, strafe, in my opinion, would have been better, although he may have been worried that getting strafe and getting locked into a doctrine that the only AT you get is the paratroopers. I don't know, he might have been reluctant to get locked into the airborne commander because of the pumas spam, and he already knew. I think he already knew at the time that there was a puma on the field. At the moment he made the choice to go for an infantry commander. However, what he probably did not account for was that I had both fuels at my disposal for most of the game, and I could easily take to tier 4, which I did. Anyway, by the way, the player he goes by the name of reiIV on GR, so shout out to him. He has commented on my shoutcast before in a good way, so I'm glad he enjoys them, and this time he gets to be featured in one of them. So yeah, there you go. From this time onwards, it's most probably, we're just hanging around here. I'm taking my time to move in. I think he just says to me that I can just walk into his base and destroy it. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. I don't know, it was late at night. I don't know what I was doing here. It's probably... could have been I can't talk. Could have probably been late at night for him as well. And there you go. Bam. Panzer IV in the field, Tiger in the field. Although there is an AT gun in the back, I think, although I don't pay any attention to it. You know, completely careless micromanaging of tanks, of snipers, of infantry, of pumas, whatever. Ah, I lose my Panzer IV. Hey, there you go. I don't think I have been fox-firing anything at this point. My sniper is a baller. He's over there trying to kill American men's. And although I do build another Panzer IV because the loss I took there seemed to have an effect on my confidence. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this game. I'm gonna let it flow. I think it's like 3 minutes more. I think it is. Probably gonna find some royalty-free music to add to it. I guess. And at this time, he's gonna reveal to me his real identity, and the spy of the Company of Heroes Balance Beta pads is gonna be revealed forever, and will have no chance whatsoever to terrorize the Balance Beta patch testers, whatever. Okay, I think I'm off for now. I hope you enjoyed the game. Did we see a lot of the changes in play? Not really. But we did make a point about whether or not about whether packs cannot be used to take out AT guns anymore, and you have to be a little bit creative. I don't know, call it a mortar, call it a sniper, call it stormtroopers with battle nades and strikes, call it just sheer manpower. What am I saying? Call it a sheer infantry flank with flamers, or with just grenadiers with nades. I don't know. You just have to find another way to kill the AT guns if you just want to take out that position. You know, because AT gun creeping is really strong if the player actually knows how to do it. You know, AT gun supported by riflemen, or riflemen with bars, or a flamer in the mix, or even some snipers behind them. They're really strong, you know. And a line of AT guns for the American player will probably most certainly mean doom for any Axis vehicle, even if it is, you know, the phasing Puma. So that's all I had to say about it. I hope you enjoyed it, as I said, and I'm gonna be off for now. Hope you enjoy the rest of these 2 minutes in the game, and I'll be seeing you shortly. aramonkg out.
Incendiary attack is on its way.